Hi Sagittarius, and welcome to your horoscope for January 2024. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm going to give you the highlights of what the planets are doing and how they're going to influence you here in January and what you can expect. To watch these horoscopes, please do it in this order: sun sign first, then rising sign, then moon sign. So your month, Sagittarius, looks really good when it comes to the areas of your energy and your areas of focus. If you felt a little flat in that regard lately, that's going to change straight away on the 1st of January when Mercury, the communication planet, goes direct. And also when it comes to your income, but not so much looking at it in the sense of my career or my work and the structures of that. When it comes specifically to the area of what can I do to create a greater income for myself, you're massively supported this month. And that really starts in earnest on the 5th of January when Mars exits your sign of Sagittarius and it goes into Capricorn in your second house of money. So if that's an area that isn't ideal, where you want more to happen, you'll really start to use all of your motivation and focus to get things moving, and you'll naturally be given the practical steps that you need to take to create a second source of income or to increase your existing source of income or whatever it is you want to do in that area. What's not so supported here for you in January is your connections with big institutions, groups of people, kind of making plans for the future or travel or education or figuring out what other people are thinking. That's really not in your kind of area of what's important today. You're much more focused on the self, as in, I feel stronger. There's less room for error. Everything seems more straightforward. So now that I've got that energy back, how am I going to translate that into something practical that benefits me? And also your ideas and how you can share those with other people and teaching. So instead of traveling in a physical sense, I think you're going to be much more interested in getting your ideas and your words and your writings to reach an audience and to let them do the traveling. On the 11th of January, we have a new moon in Capricorn that happens in your second house as well. So Sagittarius, if you're thinking of starting your own business or if you're thinking of changing jobs, the 11th of January is an amazing day to plant those seeds and to get them to grow. The new moon is when the moon goes pitch black and it pulls a lot of energy in. And in this case, it pulls Capricorn energy in, which is an earth sign, the sign associated with work. So you're really focused on, okay, what can I do to get something in return? But it's not like I'm just doing it for the money, because you've also got all that energy in Sagittarius in your first house. You're like, I've got this wonderful energy. I want to use it in a way that, yes, does benefit me, but also it's got to feel like there's some sort of personal connection to it and there's room for growth and it's part of my life purpose. So in those two areas, you're really supported. But because we haven't got a lot going on the other side of the chart, this isn't so much about getting people to invest in you or writing to the big company to see the value in your idea. It's much more about self-employment and doing it on your own. On the 14th of January, Mercury also joins all the other energy in your second house. Mercury, the communication planet, goes into Capricorn in your second. So you are really like able to research what's going to have value to you and what isn't, particularly in a practical financial way. So it's almost like you're intuitive when it comes to creating sources of income, or plural, sources of income. So listen to your gut on that. It's not going to mislead you. On the 21st, we have Pluto, the planet of transformation and change, that exits Capricorn and it goes into Aquarius. And this is really a significant shift. Check out the video I made for Sagittarius for the entire year, 2024. Just type in Sagittarius 2024 to check that. I go into a lot of detail on this because it really is the end of one era and the beginning of the new one. So Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. And it now, on the 21st of January, goes into Aquarius, and it will stay there until pretty much 2044. So the next 21 years. And it goes out of your second house and into your third house of communication. So the firebird kind of rising from the ashes in Aquarius, it means that your ideas really kind of become regenerated. And instead of just focusing on something, how can I create more of an income for myself? which actually is a good thing here at the beginning of the month when you combine it with Pluto going into Aquarius, because now you value ideas which are unique and which can have a positive impact on other people. So if you combine that with the practical actions you took in the first 3 weeks of January, and you combine this with this altruism of Aquarius, which says, you know, my words, I want them to have an impact on society, or I want to be an activist, or I want to do something for the greater good, I want to be charitable, or I want to teach. That kind of idealistic notion of using information that way to affect a positive change, plus this practical mindedness, can really put you in a very good position where you're doing things which do help the public and therefore the greater good, but you also benefit from it in return. So if you're kind of hovering around any of those areas, then please look at what comes your way in January. You can really take effective, practical action that's going to then change the everyday structure of your life. On the 23rd, before I go to the 23rd, on the 21st, we also have the Sun going into Aquarius, and it sits next to Pluto. The Sun is what you identify with. So around the last week of the year, around the last week of the month in January, with Pluto in Aquarius and the Sun in Aquarius in your third house of communication, your idea is very much, I am not just a person who is here to make money or to be practical. I identify with what's going on up here for myself so much that everything else starts to fade away a little bit. And I'm going to judge myself on the value of what I come up with intellectually. So if you are an inventor or a teacher or a professor or anyone who works in that realm, look at what comes up for you around this last week of the month. You'll be very happily surprised. The 23rd of January, we've got Venus also joining your other personal planets, Mercury and Mars, in your second house of money. So that ability to create more, to create plenty, to work at something which is really prosperous and abundant for you, that continues, if not even, it gets even stronger. So from the 23rd until the end of the month, this is the time to really pay attention to those ideas that come up, because they're going to work on different levels, both practically and intellectually and for the greater good. On the 25th, we have a full moon in Leo, and that happens in your 9th. So the first time this month now, you may want to take some time off, or you may have the desire to kind of travel or to learn something new. So it's about receiving something through your actions instead of just producing content and ideas. And then finally, Uranus goes direct in your 6th house. We've also got Jupiter, the lucky planet, in your 6th house of daily routine and work. So again, you'll see by the end of the month that all of these actions you've taken during the month of January start to pay off really quickly. And it's very likely that you're going to be in a more comfortable position than you were to start with. So, you know, if you've had a situation in your practical circumstances that hasn't made you feel very secure, and you want to turn things around, then January really enables you to do that and to really do a 180 in terms of how inspired do I feel when it comes to my ideas, and also how secure do I feel when it comes to my practical circumstances, my finances, my income, all of that. So I hope it gives you an idea of what you'll be working with in January. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to audio reading with me. To draw up your birth chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then order a chart rectification with me, please. That's a process where I actually work out your time of birth. And that's kind of important because the chart changes every 4 minutes. So when I'm analyzing it, the more accurate the time, the more accurate the natal chart. If you have any questions around what's coming up in future, or locations, or personal strengths, weaknesses, anything at all, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. Have a wonderful month, and I'll speak to you soon.